Do you have goals? Have you ever thought about reaching your goals or why you're not reaching your goals? Today we're going to look at goals. We're going to look at the mechanics of making goals, your goals. That's going to be great. We're going to have fun. Let's do that. So I want you to know I'm new to this. I want you to know I'm working this out as I go. It's just been the past few years that I have really dug into, become conscious of goal setting, goal making, and also my own faith, digging deep and finding out about my own faith and how it relates to this. But I want you to know I feel like we're in this together. So if you have steps or mechanics, however you want to call it, that you can share with me, let's do that. So know that as we're going along. Okay, let's make your goals. So what we want to do, what I do is when I'm making goals is I relax completely. I either use a breathing technique or I use a muscle relaxing technique where I go through each group of muscles, think about them and relax them. And then when I've done this, then I can let my mind wander to the things that I want. So one of the things I want you to do alongside that or with that, or that I do, is I imagine that I've won $46 million. That's a lot of money. So I have no money problems now. So now I can just think about the things I want in my life. I don't have to think about going to work every day and earning a paycheck to live. Now that's taken care of, that's out of the way. What do I want in my life? So now what I do, and I want you to do, is sit down and start writing out your goals. No matter how crazy they sound, we're not interested in judging them. Just writing out your goals. I would narrow it down to maybe 7 or 8. I probably even would narrow it down to 2 or 3. That way, I can keep my focus. So they need to be in the present. Your mind works best in the present. If you say, I want to have a car, well, you're expressing yourself in the future, so it may stay in the future. So I have a car. I'm enjoying my car. So keep it in the present, and you want to date it. Dating it gives us some urgency and gives you a definiteness, a definite end. So you might do 6 months, you might do a year, you might even do less. Try that. Do it right now, even as we're talking. Pause this and write down some goals right now. Just relax and let them come to you. They will. Now, I want to start the practice of reading them to myself because I want to hear them. So the best time to do this is right after you wake up or right before you go to bed. This is when you're most relaxed and your mind is the most receptive and you actually are working with your subconscious. So right now we're in our conscious, and that is the deeper mind, it's the subconscious. And you're embracing them, pulling them into your deeper self. So you're going to read them to yourself, read them out loud preferably, right after you wake up, right before you go to bed. And you're going to read them in the present tense, and I want you to read them with feeling. And as another part of that same thing is I want you to visualize them. So as you're reading them, visualize them as being true. And also, sometime during the day, and again, this is the best time to do it, I want you to relax and I want you to visualize the goal happening. So driving the car, going to Europe, getting married, whatever it is you want, visualize that thing as being true and feel it. Believe it. That's a very important part of this, is believing in your mind that it's already happening. So try those 2 things. Practice those. Those are what I'm practicing. Let me know how it works for you, of reading them out in the morning and night and also visualizing them. That's the second element here. Okay, this is number 3. Number 3 is get off the couch. I know that sounds bad, and I've said to myself all the time, I'm not getting on to you. What I'm saying is now you're, from the fact that you have goals and you've done this inner work, you're probably going to start feeling like you want to do some things, take some action. And you need to take action. Don't be afraid. Which brings me to another thing, which is you're going to fail. Now, we're not talking about life failure. Failing as in I stumbled or I made a mistake or I fell, but I'm going to learn from that. I believe as you fail, as you practice, which is what failure is, as you practice, you're going to get better. So I've had to tell myself that too, so I know exactly how you feel. So anyway, be okay with failing. Take massive action. Sometimes you're going to fumble through your actions, or you're not going to know what to do, and you're just going to take do things because you feel like you have to take some actions towards your goals, do that. That's okay. But sometimes you're actually going to feel inspired to do things. You need to do it. Don't question it. Just do it. You need to get off your couch. You need to get out of your house. Go see friends. Get out of your comfort zone. If you can only do your goal for 2 minutes, do your goal for 2 minutes. If you're scared, do it for 30 seconds. If there's a paper you haven't been reading that you're supposed to be reading, then just open it up and look at it. Do something towards your goals and give 100% of who you are. This is your standards we're talking about. This is who you really are. I'm doing this filming right now as I'm sitting here. I'm talking to you. And a part of me is afraid. A part of me might fail. But I'm doing this because this is my goal. Get off the couch. Be the new you. You're going to level up. You're going to have a new identity because when you're reaching your goals, you become a new person. That's what I'm finding. I'm a new person. I have a new identity. Okay, so the next thing is forgiveness. And I know that's not directly related to goal setting and making goals, but forgiveness is an interesting animal. It cleans your system. So I was raised, or I grew up on the fact of forgiving people, and I thought I was doing it to take care of the relationship, to take care of them. As I've gone on and read and learned, I've come to the realization that forgiveness cleans out my system. Yes, it's good for the relationship with them, and I want that. But my mind and my heart accumulate stuff: anger, bitterness, resentment, even frustration. And what forgiveness does is it cleans out my thinking so I can focus, actually. So what I want to do and what I want you to do is consider forgiving, even if you think the person doesn't deserve it, even sometimes if they're deceased or they've died. You can go into your imagination and forgive them. Even forgive yourself. A lot of people don't necessarily talk about that, but I've had to forgive myself about a lot of things I did because you can be angry at yourself. So you got to forgive yourself. And you may even have to forgive God because you may be angry at God. But what we're doing here is we're cleaning up the heart. I'm cleaning up my heart. I'm cleaning up my mind so I can be clear on my goals and so I can be clear on working toward my goals, on taking steps. So to me, forgiveness is extremely important. Now we're going to talk about tithing. We talked about forgiveness just now, and that seemed out of the ordinary. That seemed out of the ordinary for me when I thought about it from your point of view. When a person teaches you something, spiritually or otherwise, you tithe to that person because you're recognizing them as a teacher, and you're recognizing the spiritual feeding. You're practicing generosity of spirit. And when you give of your money, that is something. Money's important. We all need to live on. And honestly, if you have a surplus of money, if you're wealthy, if you have an abundance of money, then you have less worries about other things. So we talked about goal setting. We've got 5 elements of goal setting. We talked about those. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about, please let me know. Any of the concepts, forgiveness, the mechanics of it, tithing, anything you want to know about. I also want to hear from you. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're doing something differently. Let's talk together. We want to build a conversation here. Put it in the comments. Let me know where you're coming from. I appreciate that. And look forward to hearing from you.